Hello and welcome to Westferry Times. Thanks for joining us today. We're doing another deep dive, and this time we're looking at something really woven into the UK's identity sport. And with me today is a brilliant expert, a sports sociologist, community coach, someone who really gets how sport shapes things here. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me. Yeah, really looking forward to getting into this.
Great. So let's just jump right in. Why is sport, such a big deal for British people? It feels obvious, but what's underneath it all?
Yeah, it's a good question because it is almost obvious, isn't it? But it goes way beyond just watching a match. It's deeply embedded in our national identity. Think about it, pub chats, newspaper headlines, football, rugby, cricket, tennis.
Yeah.
They're constant conversation points.
Right.
They give us that shared sense of pride, loads of drama, obviously, and yeah, a feeling of togetherness.
And it crosses generations too, right? Like families supporting the same team for ages.
Oh, absolutely. That's a huge part of it. You inherit your team, don't you?
Yeah.
Grandparents telling stories about old players, kids wearing the kit.
Yeah.
It's a real link.
Those shared moments like FA Cup final Saturday or watching the Olympics together.
Exactly. Those shared experiences, those rituals, they build up over time. It becomes part of your family story, part of the national story. It's like a common language.
And football seems to be the loudest voice in that conversation, maybe.
Yeah, you'd have to say football's influence is massive. The Premier League's global reach is just enormous. But even at the grassroots level, the passion is incredible. It's the most watched, most played, definitely the most argued about sport.
Fair enough.
But, it's not just football. Think about the buzz around Wimbledon or a big Six Nations rugby match. Different sports tap into that national feeling in their own ways. They all contribute to that sort of mosaic of identity.
Okay, so beyond the big national picture, what about locally? How does sport work to build communities?
This is where it gets really interesting, I think. That's the social glue aspect. Your local sports clubs could be Sunday league football, village cricket, netball, whatever they're tactical. They're often vital hubs.
Hubs how?
Well, they're places where people make friends, genuine connections. Parents bond on the sidelines, maybe, and there's a huge amount of volunteering that goes on, often completely unseen. These clubs give structure a place to belong. It's much more than just the sport.
It's the shared stuff around it, the rituals.
Spot on. The chants on the terraces, the pint after the game, traveling to away matches together on a coach, all those little things create this incredibly strong sense of belonging, of community. For loads of people, their club is their social life.
Yeah, I can see that. And what role does sport play in, including people, maybe groups who might feel a bit left out otherwise?
Well, there's definite potential there, and progress is being made, slowly but surely. We're seeing disability sport getting more visibility, which is great, more initiatives for LGBTQ plus inclusion, too, and efforts to really celebrate ethnic diversity in teams and fan bases. There are still challenges, of course, but sport can be a powerful way to bridge divides. That shared passion for a game, it can sometimes cut across other differences.
Let's zoom back out then, that national level again. When, say, England gets to a final, what happens? The whole country seems to stop.
It's amazing, isn't it? Suddenly flags are everywhere, strangers are talking about the match. Even people who don't normally follow a sport get completely swept up in it. It just taps into that collective national identity.
A unifying thing.
Yeah, a really powerful, even if it's just temporary, unifying force. You feel that shared emotion, the hope, the tension, the joy, or the despair.
Like the 2012 Olympics, the atmosphere.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
London 2012 was electric, wasn't it? That sense of national pride was just palpable. Or, more recently, the Lionesses winning the Euros. That felt like a huge moment of collective celebration for England.
And the athletes themselves become symbols, don't they? People see certain values in them.
Exactly. We kind of project onto them, maybe. Think of Andy Murray's grit, his sheer refusal to give up. Or Mo Farah's grace and his connection to the community.
Or even Gareth Southgate, his kind of quiet leadership.
Yeah, precisely. They come to represent qualities we like to think we have as a nation. Resilience, fairness, maybe humility.
So sport helps us tell a story about ourselves, about Britain.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
It gives us this ongoing narrative. There are heroes, villains sometimes, epic struggles, moments of glory. And through that story, we kind of reflect on what matters to us. Competition, yes, but also teamwork, fairness, diversity, that togetherness we keep coming back to.
Okay, let's shift focus a bit. What about the impact on young people? How does sport shape the next generation?
Oh, it's huge. Massively influential. PE lessons, after-school clubs. They teach so much more than just how to kick a ball. Things like discipline, working in a team, learning how to win and lose gracefully. Resilience is a big one.
And that's maybe even more important in areas with fewer opportunities.
Definitely.
Hmm.
Especially in underserved communities, sport can offer a positive focus structure.
You've seen this yourself, right? Coaching youth football in East London.
Yeah, I coached for about 10 years. And honestly, it was eye-opening. For a lot of those kids, football wasn't just a game. It was, a lifeline sometimes. It gave them positive role models, the coaches, older players,
Yeah.
a sense of purpose, somewhere to belong.
Right.
For some, it even opened doors maybe to college or just keeping them engaged in something constructive away from other stuff.
But you flagged funding earlier. Is that a barrier to this positive impact?
It absolutely is. It's a real challenge. You see so much passion. The benefits are clear as day, but state schools often have really stretched PE budgets,
Mm.
and community clubs, they're usually run by amazing volunteers, but they're constantly fundraising, struggling to keep things going.
So the passion is there, but maybe not always the support structure.
That's a good way to put it, yeah. The infrastructure doesn't always match the enthusiasm.
Okay, we have to talk about the tricky stuff too. What are some of the main challenges facing UK sport right now?
Yeah, definitely need to touch on those. While racism is still a major issue, particularly in football,
Mm.
the online abuse directed at players is just vile. It's a persistent problem.
And what about the money side of things? Commercialization.
That's another big one.
Hmm.
The sheer amount of money in elite sport, especially football, can create a disconnect. Ticket prices are incredibly high for many fans. Games being behind expensive TV paywalls, it makes it less accessible, doesn't it?
It prices people out.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's the growing awareness around mental health.
Right, that seems to be talked about much more openly now.
It is, thankfully. But the pressure on athletes, especially young ones, is just immense. It starts so early. So while it's good we're talking about it, there needs to be way more actual investment in mental health support services for athletes at every level.
And the gender gap, still an issue.
Oh, for sure. Look, women's sport has made huge strides. Women's football is booming, which is fantastic to see.
The lionesses effect.
Definitely part of it. But compared to men's sport, still seriously underfunded, still gets far less media exposure overall. Having role models like Leah Williamson is incredibly powerful, inspiring girls to play, but there's still a long way to go for genuine parity.
So, looking forward then, what do you see on the horizon for UK sport? Any key trends?
Good question. I think inclusivity will continue to be a big focus, making sport genuinely welcoming for everyone. We'll definitely see more technology, things like VR and training, AI for analyzing performance. That's only going to grow.
Interesting.
And maybe, hopefully, a bit of renewed focus on grassroots, remembering that participation is just as important as elite success.
Are you optimistic overall? Signs of hope?
Yeah, I am actually. Cautiously optimistic, maybe. The success of the Lionesses really did feel like a potential watershed moment for women's sport. You see participation rising in women's rugby too. Paralympians are getting much more visibility. These are all really positive developments.
So the goal is
The ultimate goal has to be making sure that sport and all its benefits, the health, the community, the fun, is genuinely accessible to absolutely everyone, everywhere in the UK, no matter who you are or where you live.
That's a great place to aim for. This has been honestly so fascinating. Really highlights that sport here is about people, passion, community. Way more than just winning. Thanks so much for sharing all your insights.
It's been a real pleasure. It's a subject I care a lot about, so yeah, great to talk it through.
And a big thank you to everyone listening and watching this deep dive on Westferry Times. If anything we discussed today struck a chord or maybe made you think about sport in a different light, please do share this discussion. And of course, remember to subscribe to the Westferry Times channel for more conversations like this one. Until next time, our final thought, stay active, stay kind, and stay connected. Goodbye for now.